ज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामीति नाम्ने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवी गौरवाणि विचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणी जय श्रीकृष्णचैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानन्द श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौरभक्तवृन्द हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. So continue the prayers that are offered. Here they don't deal with any of the avatars or any of the leelas that Lord is performed because the leelas have not yet started. They are glorifying the creations and other different aspects of the Lord because that is what they are relating to. So here the important aspect is we discussed yesterday what prayers are offered will have also it is connected to us. If you want to create something, you can offer these prayers and Brahma's prayers for creation. All the prayers have some very important significance and that gives the proper state of consciousness and will help that we will be able to, without forgetting the Lord, we will be successful in our endeavor. What happens is success comes, then there is also pride. And pride means we will forget the Lord. But to be safe side, any creation or anything, so Bhagavatam helps. Okay, you want to create, this is the way. So it's not for some sense means it's not for personal aggrandizement, it is for the pleasure of Lord. So all the prayers are for pleasure of Lord and to make us give an opportunity to serve the Lord. Because we discuss bhakti means to assist the Lord in his pleasure, not making Lord for our pleasure. So that is the main criteria. So here all the elements they are praying to assist the Lord because he desires creation and they want to be empowered for the creation. Without their asking also it is anyway going to happen. Because Lord desired. Anyway, this combination of elements will happen and everything will happen. But if they pray and then it happens, then they are safe. They will remain as an assistance to the Lord. Otherwise, because Lord already desired for creation, so if these elements did not pray, is that creation will not happen? No, it will happen because the desire of living entity is also there. Similarly, even if I don't pray, if I am supposed to become rich, I will become rich. If I am supposed to gain some facilities and all, I will get it anyway. But without prayer, I got it. The problem is there is a tendency to become proud and fall down from my position. If I pray and then I get, then I know it is coming from mercy of Lord. Even though it is otherwise also it is mercy of Lord. But the point is we will forget. But if I prayed, say before the class I am praying. So if I give very, very wonderful class and 1,000 people attended and everybody appreciated, I know, oh, I prayed, that's why I got this ability to speak. If I did not do properly and I gave a class and then people appreciate, then it will enter into my head and I start taking the credit. That is the main problem. Offering prayers is actually creating a proper state of consciousness. And another thing is also that Lord will, things happen according to Lord's will only. And if you pray, then some extra things may happen, like Prabhupada is praying in Jalan. So then Lord changes certain things. He says, okay, this fallen souls you want to deliver, okay, let it happen. Otherwise, anyway, they are going to. So devotees, when they pray for the conditioned souls, that is some other difference. So we need to understand that it is helpful for us. And we need to, some things we pray for others, like 2 days before, some devotee called and said, you pray for some desire. And I prayed and it happened. Spiritual desire only, but it happened. So, no, I'm not good in prayers. Don't call me for asking. But somehow it happened. So now what happens is that devotee, now he got the desire fulfilled. So he's always conscious. No, no, because of Prabhuji's praying it happened. Otherwise also it is going to happen. But now the devotee is very conscious and he's grateful. Then that is advantage in praying. That we will not take things for granted. And that's why we should always be in a prayerful mood to protect our consciousness and always remain close to Krishna. Otherwise, this pride is the greatest enemy for all of us. It is holding us in this material world. False ego, another aspect of false ego is pride only. So we have to be careful. It does not happen. So Brahma is also praying. So one of the prayers, let me not become proud. That is the prayer he is doing. Because anyway, he is made to create, he will anyway create. This is another safer thing to us. So we have to here and the purport is very nice. So you just listen this nice purport by Prabhupada. तथा परे चात्मसमाधियोगा बलेन जित्वा प्रकृतिं बलिष्ठां त्वामेव धीरः पुरुषं विशन्ति तेषां स्ममं शाननतु सेवयाते. Others who are pacified by means of transcendental self-realization have conquered over the modes of nature by dint of strong power and knowledge, also enter into you. But for them, there is much pain, whereas the devotees simply discharge devotional service and thus feel no such pain. So, this is by means of transcendental self-realization has conquered over the modes of nature by dint of strong power and knowledge, and also enter into you. So, they are klesho agatikataras avyakta saptachetasam. Avyakta hi gatir dukkham. But for them there is much pain because endeavor is love. Oh, nice purpose. In terms of labor of love and its returns, the bhaktas or devotees always have priority over persons who are addicted to the association of jnanis or impersonalists and yogis or mystics. The word apare is is very significant in this connection. Others refers to jnanis and yogis, whose only hope is to merge into the existence of impersonal Brahmajyoti. Although their destination is not so important in comparison to the destination of the devotees, the labor of non devotees is far greater than that of bhaktas. One may suggest that there is sufficient labor for the devotees also in the matter of discharging devotional service, but that labor is compensated by the enhancement of transcendental pleasure. The devotees derive more transcendental pleasure while engaging constantly in the service of Lord than when they have no such engagement. So for devotees, engagement is pleasure, not just sitting quietly and meditating. So no, Prabhupada. In the family combination of man and woman, there is much labor and responsibility for both of them. Yet when they are single, they feel more trouble for want of their united activities. Prabhupada gives name. Like if a person, I was also feeling today morning, like no person, he can happily enjoy. He's working, he's having his money, he can happily enjoy himself. But you want to have wife and you want to have children and you want to take care of them and spend money for their pleasure. I was thinking, why? You know, he has to sacrifice so much of his pleasure. If I have money, I'll go and I'll eat ice cream. But now father purchases ice cream and he may not get all ice cream. His two children will eat all ice cream. And I was thinking of my parents also. Like many times it happened that we were eating, they didn't had like say they bring something, we only eat everything. So we have three children. So I was thinking why? Because that is the labor of love. So now when we love Krishna, then it is such a great pleasure serving him. Any inconvenience. Tomara seva dukha yadi seito paramasukha. So when Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, oh, in your service, Lord, whatever difficulty, it is my greatest pleasure. Like devotees are fasting, like Ekadasi. So it is painful, but it gives some sort of spiritual joy. Yes, yes, I made it. Lord will be happy now. I know I could do some fasting for the pleasure of Lord so that I'll be purified and Janmashtami or Gaur Purnima is coming, and then Ekadashi comes. So it's a pleasure actually. To that we feel so satisfied that I have done, and we do book distribution or some other activity where some labor is involved, and it gives so much pleasure. Like we give class and some endeavors. So this is actually what we want all the time, taking some inconvenience for Lord's service, and that gives more pleasure for us. Why? Because that is the proof. We have opportunity to prove to the Lord that my Lord, see, I can prove my love because I have taken that inconvenience. So that is the proof. So why the child is so attached to mother? Because the child uh, experiences that selflessness of mother for some time. Grows the changes, the formulas, but he has experienced some selflessness. So that gives him that relation is very strong. That's why, because he sees that. So similarly, we feel obliged to our mother because she has done so much for us. Similarly, when we do for the Lord without with all our the inconveniences we face, Lord also feel obliged. Oh, he did so much for me. Okay, okay. So no matter how much dirty or whatever condition he has, I will take him. So here Prabhupada read some more nice points. The union of impersonalists and the union of devotees are not on a par because they also unite. The impersonalists try to fully stop their individuality by it in Sajamukti or unification by merging into the oneness, whereas devotees keep their individuality to exchange feelings in relation with the supreme individual. Such reciprocation of feeling takes place in the transcendental Vaikuntha. Like say if Krishna comes to your house now, we will give up everything, start taking care of him nicely. And to the degree we are happy taking care of him, days and days, months and months, years and years, without nothing I need. I just want to please Krishna. To the degree we are qualified for entering into spiritual. Krishna comes after 2-3 days, we say, okay, Krishna, no. I want to do my things. You can go to some other house. Or you stay in the house, but I want some space for myself. I want my own bedroom, my own TV, my own. If you don't want any of your personal needs and things, and you just want to serve Krishna whole 24/7, that's then you are already in Vaikuntha. Say, Jaitine Grihate Bhajanate ki Grihate Golokubhai. So, how is Vaikuntha? When whole day we are just engaged in serving Krishna, nothing for ourselves. We are already living in Vaikuntha. And then after that, then we will go there only because we don't have anything to do in this material world because we are only doing service to Krishna. Krishna says, okay, what have you do with this material world? Whole day you are in my service only. Now, whoever want little space for themselves, little time for themselves, okay, I have done my bhakti for the morning and daytime is for me. For them, they need material world. They will continue. But for a devotee, they don't need. They're just happy all the day serving Krishna. तथैवयं लोकसृसृक्षयाध्या त्वयानुसृष्टास्त्रिभिरात्मभिर्स्म सर्वे विमुक्ता स्वविहारतन्त्रं न सं न सौमस्तत्प्रतिहर्तवेति. Oh, original person, we are therefore, but yours only. Although we are your creation, we are born one after another under the influence of three modes of nature. And for this reason, we are separate in action. Therefore, after the creation, we could not act concrete, concentratedly for your transcendental pleasure. So, this is very important because we are born after and under the influence of three modes of nature. For this reason, we are separated in action. This is for all of us, including the material, the other elements also. The elementary demigods also, this is applicable. So even though they are working for the pleasure of Lord, there is also something which they do for themselves. For this reason, we are separated in action. Therefore, So we could not act concentrately for your transcendental. As such, everybody should act for good. The cosmic creation is working under the influence of three modes of external potency of Lord. Different creatures are also under the influence of same influence, and therefore they cannot concentratedly in satisfying the Lord because of their diverse activities. There cannot be any harmony in the material world. Wow. So people are trying to create some harmony in this material world. They want to have peace. But peace is not possible in material world, no matter whatever persons do. United Nations, there cannot be peace. Among the countries, there cannot be peace. Within the family, not possible. The best policy, therefore, is to act for the sake of Lord. That will bring about the deserved harmony, and which is in the Vaikuntha. Because the main reason is because we are all acting according to three modes. These modes will never allow us to, these modes in this world, always there is a mismatch because modes always fight among themselves. Modes fighting means what? There is a passion from America and ignorance from Middle East, and then there is some other thing from some other country, and then they fight. So there will be always wars in this world. It is never possible. Only thing is, Satyuga, the wars may be a little less comparatively. Of course, that time also the wars were from demigods and demons from interplanets. And now the wars are within the countries. And then that's always fight is always within the countries. Now, why there is, what is the fight for us? How can I understand it, how it is fighting? It is a taste. Modes means what? It's a taste. I say that this is the way the country should run. And the opposition party will say, no, this is the way it should run. This is the right way. You should develop materially. Somebody say, no, you should have some spirituality, religion also in that. Somebody say, no religion, there is no God. So capitalists have one way, one taste, communists have another taste, democrats have another taste. So basically, they have their own, they are convinced that they are right. And then they fight for it. And their fighting is modes only. And Tamoguna always want to have a different way of Tamoguna taste, Rajoguna taste. And then they start hating other person's taste. They cannot compromise. So because of this diverse activity, there cannot be any harmony in this metal world. So don't try only. If you want to try harmony, what to do? Give Krishna consciousness. Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur was very practical in that way. He said, oh, Prabhupada said, Britishers are, no, we are under colonial rule. Bhaktisiddhanta said, it is nonsense. It does not make any sense. Because the real freedom is control of senses, control of mind. Serving Krishna is the real freedom for living entity. No matter you are under colonial rule or you are under dictatorship or you are in a democracy or you are in a capitalism or in a socialism, does not make any difference for living entity. It is going to fight and suffer in this material world. Only thing a living entities need is it need freedom from the senses, sense gratification, control. The senses are actually holding us. Mind is holding us. We need to get freedom from it. So that is the point here. And it's actually we can discuss whole 1 hour on this, but I'm not because we have to complete the syllabus also. But it's a very nice meditation. You want to give any class, you meditate on this and give. It's very nice shloka and point. And because of this, we are not able to work for the pleasure of Lord also. Because we are in the modes, we are not able to work because our taste changes. We do different activities. Now I am doing bhakti, but after some time, mode of passion comes. Then I say, okay, enough of it. Now free. I have done my chanting. I have done my service to Lord. I have given class. Now whole day I will do my nonsense. So this actually what happens to because of modes. And ignorance comes, we feel so lazy. Oh no, I cannot do anymore now. I need some break. So this want to have break is mode of ignorance, like that. And we have this conditioning, so it affects us. We go through the mode slowly. And mamcho abhyabhicharena bhakti yogena sevate sagunan samdite. Like we start doing, then we transcend the modes. Like Prabhupada is not affected by modes. It's transcendental. Does not becoming. We will be controlled by anger. Prabhupada will never control. So these are the advantages. Yes, Champaklatam.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavad Pranam.
Then,
Prabhuji, the modes are certainly acting on us. Like I have a question regarding some devotees, like they may be having issues with mental health. So when they come to the spiritual counselors, most often, even though they understand about spirituality a little bit, but they're not able to align themselves in the spiritual practices. So uh, definitely, as you said, modes are acting on everybody. But since some people have mental health issues, how do they deal with them? Is it all right to seek psychological or psychiatric help for them, and then take care of their
they
spiritual
should
life?
they should go to a professional and take help, because what happens now, these professionals, they can really help them to come out and to come to a normal state. To practice bhakti na, you need material stability. You should
Hmm.
at least a person have a good job, a decent job, and no much very serious family issues, and then his health is also at a normal state. That is very much needed at our level to practice bhakti, even though it is not the criteria for bhakti, but our level, because mind is need all this stability. Material stability is always very conducive for practicing spirituality. So these people should go to a professional, consult them, get cured, and then it is possible for them. Like say some of the boys, and after the college, if they are not getting job, most of them, they cannot practice Krishna conscious properly. But if they get a job, then again they can continue practicing, because they're always in that anxiety. I don't have job, I don't have job. So their chanting and the quality of their devotion is always weak, because they're in that so much anxiety. And some people, some girls or boys, they don't get married also. That is also causes them so much anxiety. Or I am not getting married. Oh, once they settle, they get married. Now then they are very peaceful. They practice very nice. So it's a arrangement that is needed for them. So professional help is even in health wise also, and if they have any family issues, and also it is good they consult a professional who help them to come to a stable. Not that we have to take shelter of them, but some help we need in a professional level also. Because we cannot say we go to a counselor and he will help. He is not a professional. He may
Correct.
mess up things and he may damage also.
Mm. Because oftentimes those who have psychiatric issues, they themselves don't know why they behave like that.
Yeah.
Basically, they have those mood swings or severe,
Yeah, borderline disorder will be there many.
yeah, Prabhuji. So basically, they themselves don't know, and it is so sad actually. Um, but Prabhuji, I had one more question regarding this. It's good that we turn them to, some psychological counselors and all that. But how is it if in ISKCON also, those who are actually doing the spiritual counseling also get some kind of training for psychological counseling? Because I feel, I mean, personally, I'm just voicing my opinion here. I think they'll be able to do a better job because all said and done, they'll have the Krishna angle always while helping the person.
The point, Mataji, is like say now if I take time and take a some psychological training and all, it takes some of my time. But if somebody comes with that problem to me, and if I honestly guide them to some professional, and once he gets 3 months or 6 months treated and he comes to me, then I give my spiritual guidance. That will be more saving my time. And that's why we need to take help of, because let them do their job, because they are professional, they are into that 20-25 years, and they have very good experience in handling it. Instead of my going through it and my experience, and it takes time for me to reach that professional level. They have gone through a very professional training, and like a doctor. So now instead of doing treatment for myself, if somebody comes with some illness, instead of my learning Ayurveda, I can send to a professional Ayurvedic doctor and he gets cured and he comes to me. So we can always do spiritual counseling only. And for medicine or some psychological problem or some other legal issues or some family issues, family counseling, like so better is to send them to this professionals only. We will save our time and we can give very purely professional, sorry, spiritual guidance, and that is actually what is our job. We need not do others Shreya Swadharma Vigna. we can we can have little idea about it if somebody is so much counseling, if he's interested. But otherwise we don't need. Like say whatever principles we are hearing from Bhagavatam, na, this only we can continue speaking. Somebody has some issues, they come to us, we can guide to them because these people's philosophy is wrong. Who go to spirits outside professionals, we have to be little careful in sending them because they say they give some philosophy, but we tell them don't take their philosophy, just follow the guidelines they are giving for the cure, and after that we can continue with our services. So this
Why
is
I'm saying that is, Prabhuji, there is a difference between psychological imbalance and psychiatric problems. Psychiatric is something like where a person is kind of insane, and when they're insane, what they do is they put them under some medication, like usually they give them some sedatives. So what happens with the sedatives is the person goes off to sleep peacefully for some time, but then he comes back to that original imbalanced state. But psychological counseling money, there is some emotional baggage due to which the person can come back to normalcy with little bit of counseling.
your voice
So,
is not clear, Matish.
oh, I'm so sorry. Uh, is it okay now, Prabhuji?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is that some cases can come back to normal after a little bit of counseling, but oftentimes, if there is a psychiatric problem and if we send them to a psychiatrist, the only problem is they are put to sleep with sedatives, and that doesn't help for too long, no, Prabhuji.
We can also not do anything for that. We also had some brahmacharis, they had this problem, and I personally took them to Nimhans in Bangalore. And but it is quite difficult. 2, 3 cases we had like that. They had this psychological and psychiatric problems also, but it is not, we cannot, even though they are fully practicing, attending morning program, but the conditioning is very strong. It's not so easy. For many years, they were in ashram doing all morning programs, but they could not come out of it. So then we have to send them to home, stay with parents, and taken care by them because it is not very easy. We have dealt with it, and that's why. And even psychological or psychiatric, both problems, no, we cannot do much help. We can do some little bit. Like say, I have some cases where one devotee had borderline disorder. Then the 2 cases I have, and then they started very seriously practicing, and then now they are quite normal because the doctor said you have to take medicine whole life. But that devotee practiced Krishna consciousness so seriously, and doctor was surprised. He himself admitted in Nimhans only that you don't need any medicine and you got cured because of your own spiritual practice. So that is the determination of that devotee, how seriously he is doing, and he can come out of it. If he has some in between that is manifested, but the spiritual practice is helping without medicines. So it depends on the individual's determination. We cannot do much. We can just guide, but it's an individual's determination and his devotion that will protect. Otherwise, there are tough cases. Mataji. We cannot much handle. Everybody has means many situations. I have means some few situations I have seen, and in that cases how they behave. So it's in
So,
both
but
cases,
when
professional
we
help
use
is only
this,
safe.
okay, but when we actually read from the Gita, Artho Arthati Jignaso Jnani, Artho is like, distressed souls. And these days, Prabhuji, the main problem is, uh, I don't know, it could be my personal take. You can correct me if I'm wrong. Earlier, we had joint families where we lived together, and if not the mother who would be busy, we had the Masi, we had the Atta, Boa, or somebody who would, listen to us, and like, our questions get answered, or we are pacified in, distress times or whatever. But these days, actually, one thing is lack of that joint family system, and second thing is everybody is all unto I, me, myself, and all unto themselves. So I think because of that highly selfish quotient that's there in each person right now in this generation, I feel there's more of these, mental illnesses, Guruji.
Yeah, that is one of the main reasons. I also agree. And apart from that, because people are leading a very selfish life, they definitely are affected by this. This materialistic life is always like that. And that's why if you see 40% of the psychiatric drugs are sold in America in words, they are maximum consumers because they are living a very lonely life. They don't have much strong bondage and relationship. And that's going to happen all over the world because people live selfishly. They don't know the higher pleasures, their loneliness, depression, insecurity, all these things, they affect them so much. That is always there. Yeah, that is one of the main reasons. And why this is happening is we have discussed in previous session also, because the purpose of life is now taught as enjoyment. No, purpose of life as responsibility and higher cause was not taught. Now that is not taught in by the parents also, in the school also, nowhere. Parents will say, beta, you work hard and enjoy. Everybody is telling work hard and enjoy. If this is the training given, people are going to get mental illness. Even World Health Organization is also saying the greatest disease of the 21st, 22nd century will be mental illness. Because the purpose of life taught is a wrong way. So
Yeah, but during Prabhupada's time, really, what is amazing to me also is those who took mind expanding drugs or LSD, etc. Uh, they were made into happies, and Prabhupada could actually convince them, uh, irrespective of what their mental state would be or emotional state would be. That's really amazing, Prabhuji. So I
yeah,
think
that's
Prabhupada could
Madan
really do
Pros.
something of that sort.
Yeah, he solved by giving spirituality because the loneliness is now going to come for many people. But if they practice some spirituality, they get some association. That is some possibility that people, at least a family whom their five children, they are practicing Krishna consciousness. They can, because they are living from higher principles. So the relation among them will be very strong. So that will help them from going through all these mental problems because the relation is
Correct.
not just based on sense gratification. There is a purpose in life. So then the relationship are strong. If there is no purpose in life, then the relationship are very weak. Like even in any team also, if any corporate teams or anywhere, the relationship are not very strong. The purpose is just to make money. Previously, there is some purpose to it. Like that's why some companies who have some purpose, like if they are working for some ISRO or something, they are some other where they are making something and they want to achieve, then the relationships are very strong in that, but not in the corporate software where they are trying cutthroat competition and all. It's always a different situation. And if family also have a purpose to go to Krishna, please Krishna, then the lives of the family members will be very peaceful and happy. But the family members, everybody is thinking enjoyment is the purpose of life, then
Hmm.
relationship are very weak. If there is responsibility, if everybody is responsible, want to give, assist each other and serve, even if they don't have a spiritual purpose also, even if materially also they are responsible and want to give pleasure for each other, then also they can have very good relation. And it happens many joint families still there, they're responsible. So even like brother is not marrying until the sister is married, then no, I have to marry my sister. And so there is father is taking responsibility and the elders are taking responsibility of youngers. Whichever family has this, they are quite close and they don't have this mental
Yeah.
problems, but otherwise it is there.
Yeah. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Makan Pro is telling there is, we call it as crowded loneliness. Large group of people suffer from this disorder. Because of this, they show and exhibit extreme behavior leading to psychological disorder and mental illness. So, so this happens because of lack of tolerance and acceptance within their own family members. Yeah. Yes, bro. But this is there. The problem is only solution is Krishna consciousness. We cannot change much because Kali Yuga, mode of ignorance and passion are in a very full blown way. Yeah, but Palim te jaharam jaham kale yatha vayam chanyam yatra yatto bhayesham ta ime hi loka balim haranto nanu atyanta anuha. O unborn one, please enlighten us regarding the ways and means by which we can offer you all enjoyable grains and commodities so that both we and all living entities in this world can maintain ourselves without disturbance and can easily accumulate the necessities of life both for us and for both for you and ourselves. So what they want is knowledge. The cause of suffering is ignorance and the purport is very big. This is very nice purport. Should read this, we'll read this. Developed consciousness begins from the human form of life and further increases in the form of demigods living on higher planetary system. Very important. The earth is situated almost in the middle of the universe, and thus the human form of life is situated between the life of demigods and that of the demons. The planetary systems above the earth are especially meant for the higher intellectuals called demigods. They are called demigods because although their stand of life is far advanced in culture, enjoyment, luxury, beauty, education, and duration of life, they are always fully God conscious. So, this is the point. Such demigods are always ready to render service to Supreme Lord because they are perfectly aware of the fact that every living entity is constitutionally an eternal subordinate servitor of the Lord. So they know that we always have to assist the Lord in His pleasure. That's why they are demigods. They also know that it is the Lord only who can maintain all living entities with all the necessities of life. The Vedic hymns confirm this truth. Eko bahunam yo vidadati kaman tameva abhuvam atayattan naha prajani yasmin pratishtha annam adami. Also in the Bhagavad Gita, the Lord is mentioned as Bhuta Brit, as the maintainer of living entities. Proper, right, nice point. The modern theory that starvation is due to an increase in population not accepted by the demigods or the devotees of Lord. The devotees are fully aware that the Lord can maintain any number of living entities provided they are conscious of how to eat. If they want to eat like ordinary animals who have no God consciousness, then they may live in starvation, poverty, and want like jungle animals in the forest. The jungle animals are also maintained by the Lord with their respective footsteps, but they are not advanced in God consciousness. Similarly, human beings are provided with good grains, vegetables, fruits, and milk by the grace of the Lord, but it is the duty of human beings to acknowledge the mercy of the Lord as a matter of gratitude. They should feel obliged to the Lord for their supply of foodstuffs, and they must first offer him food in sacrifice and then partake of the remnants. Very nice points. Please meditate on it. If you are giving class, give on this topic. I will not take much time. But this is very, very, if you meditate on it, you'll also feel very nice. It is confirmed that one who takes footsteps after a performance of sacrifice eats real food for proper maintenance of body and soul. But that one who cooks for himself and does not perform any sacrifice eats only lump of sin in the shape of footsteps. So, muchante punjate te tvagam papa. If you are not offering anything and eating, it's papa only. If you eat papa, you have to pay for it. That is suffering. Such sinful eating can never make one happier or free from scarcity. Famine is not due to an increase in population, as less intelligent economists think, but it is due to ingratitude of human beings. Now people are complaining, "Arey, there is so much rise in the price of commodities. There is inflation. Inflation is because of what? It's not because of economic policies. Inflation is because of ingratitude. Prabhupada is telling. You are having inflation because you are not thanking the Lord for what you are getting. You are just enjoying without Him. You are eating sin every day, not offering to the Lord. Inflation will increase. Array, if inflation is the problem, the Western world, who are the most intelligent people in economics, America or Europe, it is growing only. Why they are not able to control it? If they are the most intelligent people, they are the most economically shrewd. Why they are not able to handle their economic crisis? Big countries like Greece, they went into bankruptcy, and big countries, the most intelligent so-called intelligent people, they are like in the Britain or France or Germany or Russia, America, Russia also, and Japan. They're all not able to control their inflation. Everything is the prices are going up. Why? Ingratitude. When human society is grateful to the Lord for all his gifts for maintenance of living entity, there is certainly no scarcity or want in society. But when people are unaware of the intrinsic value of such gifts from the Lord, surely they will be in want. A person who has no God consciousness may live in opulence for the time being due to his past virtuous activity. You see, yesterday we discussed. The person who has no God consciousness may live in opulence for the time being due to his past virtuous activity. But if he forgets his relationship with God, with the Lord, certainly he must evade the stage of starvation by the laws of powerful material nature. One cannot escape the vigilance of the powerful material nature unless he leads a God conscious or devotional life. So, if the people now who are rich, it is not because of the intelligence, it is because of the previous virtuous activities. Now, what you are living is the payment you are doing for the future. त्वं नः सुराणामसिसान्वयानां भूतस्त आद्य पुरुषः पुराण त्वं देवसख्यां गुणकर्मयोणो रेतस्त्व अज्ञां कविमाददेज. You are the original person, founder of all the demigods and orders of different gradation, yet you are the oldest and the unchanged. O Lord, you have no source of superior. You are the you have impregnated the external energy with the semen of the total living entity, yet you are unborn. The Lord, the original person, is the father of all other living entities, beginning from Brahma, the personality from whom all the other living entities in different gradation of species are generated. Yet the Supreme Father has no other father. Every one of the living entity of all grades up to Brahma, the original creator of the universe, is begotten by a father. But he, the Lord, has no father. When he descends to the material plane, out of his cosmos mercy, he accepts one of his great devotees as his father to keep pace with the rules of material world. Like Prabhupada was talking about Second World War time, and he said that whole Calcutta was in crisis, and Britishers, they wantedly kept the rice godowns. They did not allow the grain to flow so that people starve. Prabhupada said that time Gaudiya did not have problem. They were having sufficient grains for devotees. Why? Because they are grateful. Economic crisis will be there everywhere, but devotees will get prasad. So don't worry. There will be crisis all over the world. Krishna will take care of his devotees. Yoga Kshemam. So here, but since he's the Lord, he's always independent in choosing who will become his father. For example, the Lord came out of the pillar in his incarnation of nursing. With Lord causeless mercy, Ahalya came out of a stone by the touch of the lotus feet of Lord of his incarnation as Lord Rama. As the super soul, he is also the companion of every living entity, but he remains unchanged. The living entity changes his body in the material world, but even when the Lord is in the material world, he is ever unchanged. This is his prerogative. ततो वयं मत्प्रमुखा यदार्थे बभाविमात्मन् करवाम किं ते त्वं न स्वचक्षुपरिदेहि शक्त्या देवः क्रियार्थे यदनुग्रहान्. O Super Soul, Supreme Self, please give us who are created in the beginning from the Mahatattva, the total cosmic energy, your kind direction on how we shall act. Kindly award us your perfect knowledge and potency so that we can render your service in different departments of subsequent creation. This last purport will do. The Lord creates this material world and impregnates the material energy with the living entities who will act in the material world. All these actions have a divine plan behind it. The plan is to give the conditioned souls who desire to enjoy sense gratification a chance to do so. But there is another plan behind the creation to help the living entity realize that they are created for the transcendental sense gratification of Lord and not for their individual sense gratification. So clear, bro. We are meant to for the transcendental sense gratification of Lord, not for our sense gratification. We want to enjoy this creation is there. Thus, the constitutional position of living entity. The Lord is one without a second, and He expands Himself into many of His transcendental pleasures. Vishnu Tattvas, Jiva Tattvas, Shakti Tattvas, the living entities, all different offshoots from the same Supreme Lord. The Jiva Tattvas are separate expansions of Vishnu Tattva, although they are different in potency between the Jiva Tattva and the Vishnu Tattvas, they are all meant for the transcendental sense gratification of Supreme Lord. Some Jivas, however, want to lord it over material nature in imitation of lordship of personal devoted regarding them, and why such propensities overcome the pure living entity. It can be only explained that the Jiva Tattva have infinitesimal independence, and that due to misuse of this independence became implicated in the conditions of cosmic creation, therefore called Nitya Baddhas. So we are given a chance, and this purport is very important. Please read. Prabhupada is giving nice reasons for it. So we'll end here. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport of the third canto, the fifth chapter of Srimad entitled Viduras Talks with Maitreya. So thank you all very much.